Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Farthest Frontier. Now this is a game we do normally play on stream, but because I've not had the opportunity to stream for a while, I thought I'd provide an update and do a little bit of redesigning within our lovely little settlement of Barrowholm. Now, a couple of things need to be discussed as Farthest Frontier is preparing for its early access exit. So there's been a few updates to the game which will eventually render this town obsolete and we would need to start a brand new one. So we're just going to kind of tidy up a few loose ends and try and push as quickly as we can to our next building tiers to try and expand this settlement as much as we can and learn as much as we can about how the game works before we actually abandon this save and start anew. The reason for that is we've got some new tier 4 buildings that offer unlimited resources, and we discovered these last time we streamed. They are with like the deep level mining, and they basically allow you to mine your coal and iron and gold resources indefinitely. At the moment there is an expiration date on some of the resources on the map, and you will eventually mine them all up and you'll not be able to go back to that. Unfortunately, with the new expansion that allowed us to have these new deep mining institutes, they mean that we have to regenerate our maps to reassign all of those resources and basically repopulate them. Which means we're kind of using an outdated version of the game now to be playing this save, and unfortunately I don't want to do that when it comes to full release. And I kind of expected when it got to full release that we would have to restart, so I think the best course of action is to continue playing this save as we are on stream and maybe with the occasional video, and then we will start a brand new world when the game gets its full release, which is actually really exciting, having following this one for quite some time now. Not as long as most people, but I've really gotten invested in it and think it's a fantastic little game. So let's dive in and we'll talk a little bit more about some of the developments that we're going to do in Barrowholm. So we are at year 40. We've just ticked over out of the harsh winter where our food stores did decline quite substantially, which is not great, but we are going to be looking to address that very quickly. And we're going to do that by putting in some more food productions and making sure that our fields are in a much better state. We do have a couple of infected crops here, so we are going to need to make sure that we sort that out. But before we do that, we need to start mapping out a brand new residential area. And I have earmarked areas where we're going to be doing that. So you can see here we've got this lovely defensive wall that kind of runs all the way along here, and I basically want to put a brand new residential area here with some new fishing huts along the shoreline right here, because fish is probably going to be the easiest way for us to get in some new resources. So the first thing I want to do is go to my food production and grab a very quick fishing shack, which we're going to put down here if we can actually get it to set in place. And then what we'll do is we'll start by destroying this wall. We'll then make a new wall that goes all the way up to the shoreline here, and that will hopefully allow us to put in some new houses as well. Now these stockyards, we're going to move a lot of these buildings are going to be moved to our industrial area here. So I want to just make sure that there's enough space to run a path all the way along there, because we're going to repath a lot of the stuff that's here. Our saw pit is going to be moved. We're going to try and move that as close as we can to this new location here. We want to try and get all of our industry like far away from the areas that we have here. So a new potter building will go down here as well. So we're probably then going to need to move our grazing area for our cattle here, because you can see it kind of overlaps with that area there. And maybe we should just continue a road all the way along, so we've got a little bit of an idea of where that's all going to go. You can see as well our population is 245 out of a possible 348, and that's because a lot of our houses have upgraded. And you'll see a lot of the arrows here are so that we can actually upgrade things within the town. I haven't yet worked out what I'm going to upgrade first, because you have to prioritize these in different kind of ways. Probably markets is going to be the best one, because that'll improve the amount of money we generate through taxes. So we're actually going to queue up a market to upgrade here. That's going to require wood, planks and bricks, so we're going to set that away to upgrade now. You can see again our food is becoming a little bit of an issue, but we already have a brand new fishing shack up and running there, and we can just set that work area to this area because we've got a nice shoal of fish there, which gives us a nice high yield. And we'll do the same here just to improve the yield there as well. And that is going to allow us to bring in some more fish and continue expanding the food market that we've got. We'll also put in right next to this a smokehouse, and that should actually allow us to preserve that meat immediately with nice smoked fish, which is always a good call for any burgeoning settlement. So we will once again, we'll use these basic resources. We'll put in some roads just to join it all up. And then we will need to put in a nice little residual road that goes back to the town. So we will once again, we'll drag a nice road going all the way along and matching up with that main kind of street within Barrowholm. So that's really nice. And that gives us a nice opportunity to kind of settle on where we're going to be putting our new houses and things. I might actually cancel the development of this road or delete it so that we can have a bit more of a straight road that goes along and then just a little bit of a residual path that kind of matches it all up. So I'm going to pop down my palisade wall. It's just going to go all the way along here and to the end of this wall, this waterfront here. That will go down, then we'll put a nice palisade wall in and start putting in some defences. What I have noticed is we do have a couple of areas where we frequently get attacked from. So I am going to just move this lookout tower and pop it down on the corner here. Because this is where we tend to get invasions coming from. They'll attack from this side, they'll run along this wall and attempt to destroy these walls here. But they'll also come from the north of the settlement, which is where we're currently building our new palisade walls. And then we will move these defensive structures, these little lookout towers, we'll move them further up. We already have some there, but it will be really nice to get a few more just dotted along here so we can try and eliminate any invaders before they even get to the walls. And here you can see we are going to lose 1 month worth of food to spoilage over the next 12 months, and that's because our barrel makers aren't fully up to scratch yet. We did last time on stream, we got our where is it? We got our foundry up and running. That's going to help us by producing iron ore and also bricks. No, it's not. It's just iron ore and gold ore from the materials that we have. And we are producing a fair bit of iron, and we do have heavy tools that do need to be replenished. But our cooper will make barrels from wood planks and iron, and that's why they're very important. They've made 5 barrels per year, and what will happen is the barrels will then be distributed amongst our markets, as you can see here, and they will reduce the amount of spoilage that you get from having your food stored. And that's a really useful thing to have. They'll also go into your root cellars as well. And again, that just helps the longevity of your food. Our work camp here, we can then just move that down to here. And they will only chop down mature trees, which will allow the new ones to grow. We have a hunter's cabin that is working over here, but they aren't doing the business. So I am actually going to upgrade that, and that's going to allow us to unlock additional item recipes and increased durability on our hunting tools. But for now, they are producing a fair bit of stuff, so that's good. We are coming up to winter as well. I'm going to upgrade my hunter's cabin though, and that's going to hopefully help us out. Now, the main reason we are running low on resources is because we've got some walls here that we can actually demolish, so I'm going to get rid of these areas here. Salvaging these is going to allow us to reclaim the wood that was used to build them, and we'll also be able to just transport that wood directly to our new wall. I didn't really want to do this yet because I was really hoping that we could just get better access to this. And unfortunately, we haven't been able to do that. So we're just going to sort out these walls now. We'll salvage as many of them as we can. I don't want that one, though. So we'll have to just try and be a bit more careful on how we select our walls here. So what we need to upgrade our houses is variation in our food types, more pottery and more candles. Now, if I just have a quick look out here, I think we have a number of candle makers, but we do need more. We have a nice brickyard there. We've got a hunter lodge. We've got work camps, arborists. We're going to need more arborists because we want to move into preserves, and we need to just make sure that we've got things going on that are very useful. At the moment, we don't have a lot. We've got a soap shop there. We don't actually have a candle maker here, so we may need to put one in. I think we do have a candle maker somewhere, though. Maybe it's here. That's a weaver. and our candle maker might be out this direction. Hunter cabin, soap shop, cobblers. Sure, we have a candle maker somewhere. I might be completely wrong about this though, so let's build one. If we just have a quick look, I think it is a tier 2 building. We've got the soap shop, the charcoal kiln, armory, there, the candle shop. Now, it doesn't look like we actually do have one of these, because this looks brand new to me. So we'll put the candle shop in. And we have a new... So 2 villagers have died. They've both succumbed to illnesses. And that's a little bit worrying. But we will kind of let that cope. And now here we go. We have our village under attack. Where are they coming from then? Let's just have a look at where, if they're coming from anywhere else. No, they all seem to be coming from this direction here. We have our... Well, they don't have a melee weapon, which isn't great, but what we can do is we can then have all of our villagers, as many as we can. We'll just try and select a big group of them. We'll have them converge over here to try and help defend our village. So you can see our defenders are right here. They're going to start opening fire. And what we can do is potentially have everybody fall back a little bit, just so that they're in range of these towers here. So we'll try and have them run back. We've killed one raider. And if we just stack up now and try and get these raiders brought down as quick as we can, and we can just manage them as best as possible. We've lost 2 villagers there. 4 villagers have been defeated now. But it's okay, we can do this, we can get them. We just want to try and cut off any raiders that are making it through our first defensive line. We've lost 13 now, this is a bad raid here. And it's because we haven't got our defenses ready. 17 have now died. But we are chasing off a number of them. We lost 22 villagers, but we killed 28 raiders. 15 of them escaped. No buildings were destroyed, and they didn't actually get any resources off us, which is the important thing. Next, we're just gonna build a load more guard towers, I think, because we definitely need them. We need to beef up our defensive here, and try and just prevent any further attacks happening. But that's a decent amount there. We've got 3 new guard towers there, and then the 4 that are going to be built around this area. And then we can start expanding a lot of our areas in terms of our forestry. We have a lot of wood stored, though, so we're not looking too shabby in terms of how things are going to expand in the future. But we do need to be very aware of the fact that we don't have a great deal of forested areas, and we are going to need to try and earmark an area like over here, where we can actually do some safe forestry and manage the amount of wood that we're able to bring in, because we don't just have this to deal with. We've got firewood and charcoal that we need to be producing. But let's jump ahead a little bit. I'm just going to demolish that dirt road there. We'll leave this area for grazing for our cattle. Then we will move our road up this area here. And that should then be able to have a nice straight road going along from our lookout towers. Okay, so we've now built all of our guard towers, and we thankfully had another trader come in to sell us some crude weaponry. We obviously are going to need to upgrade that a little bit, but because we're doing so well with our trading and we're bringing in quite a bit of money, I'm pretty confident that we're going to be able to move some stuff around a little bit easier and start working on some other stuff, like the cheesemaker here. We are short of citizens, though, so we are going to need to make sure that we bring in some new people. But to do that, we need to increase the desirability of our city. So we do have our barn down here. They're grazing over there. They're going to provide us with milk, which we'll then convert into cheese at our new cheesemaker. And then the preservatives building, they're going to do stuff with the fruit that we produce on our trees. Now, I am going to need to add in a brand new arborist. And that is going to allow us to produce some more trees and help us improve the number of fruit items that we develop year on year. You can see here we already have some apple trees and a couple of pear trees, and I believe we've got a few other different types of trees in there as well. But at the moment we aren't producing enough. Peach trees is another one that we're bringing in. Peach, pear and apples. Unfortunately, though, it's not enough to sustain. You can see here we're still losing crops to disease, we're losing stuff to spoilage, but we do have quite a bit of meat that we can bring in and smoke to preserve it a little bit better. But we don't have a great deal of, how do I say it? Our city is not running efficiently right now. But I'm going to start upgrading some of our main roads, and this is going to allow our citizens to move through the city a little bit quicker. And once the candle maker is up and running, we'll start producing candles from the, I think it's from animal fat, so it'll be, or no, it's from beeswax. We do have quite a bit of beeswax, I think. If I just have a look, actually, that might be where my original candle maker is, down here near where we're producing the honey. So we've got an improved well there, an apiary. Yes, so if we can put in a few more apiaries, we're getting nice bonuses from our honey there, and over here I think we should be getting some decent bonuses as well. Yeah, 79%. But if we start putting some apiaries right in this area, we'll get a lot more. So let's have a look. Where's our apiary? There's apiaries here, and if we just pop down a couple here, we've got bonuses going all the way through. So if we can get some decent bonuses on our apiaries in the middle of our city, there's a nice one. And another one here, potentially. Yeah, 74%. That's going to give us some really good honey. And then if we can get another one in right on the edge here, next to that well, that's 78%. So we get a lot more apiaries coming through. 61% isn't amazing, but it's giving us a nice bit of honey, and that'll continue to bring in wax, which means we can continue pumping out luxury items. Now, another thing I've noticed is we have a nice clay resource over here. So we can actually build a brand new clay pit. So we've marked out what we're going to build and what we're putting in. I'm going to jump forward again, and then we'll try and focus on a brand new residential area. But it is literally all going to be about improving this. So food, luxury, cleanliness. We're going to need to build a new soap maker, so I'm going to put another one of those in. And as you kind of like expand and put more stuff in, you do start to realize that you are going to need to have the population to actually do this. We are low on laborers, and that is a problem. But because we are short on populace, we aren't going to be able to bring in the required laborers to facilitate all of the work that we want to do here. So if we just run a little bit of a road up here and then have it go all the way along to that, because I forgot about that apiary that was going to go right there. So yeah, once we get everything up and running again, we should be able to continue expanding. You can see the gold isn't a problem, and once you've got a decent gold income, the sky really is the limit for a settlement. As long as you're managing it well, you can really put forward new things and advancements within your settlement. If we just have a quick look over at one of our large houses here, you can see we have people in here. And the thing is, we might have people who are struggling with work here. We've got someone who's unable to work for some reason, and it could be because they have enough resources or they're waiting for tasks and things. Like here, we've got a bunch of people who are wandering and don't have any work on. We are going to need to sort all of that out. As you can see, our roads have yet to be upgraded, and that could be because we lack the laborers to put that upgrade in, but it's also because we have no stone. So we are going to need to just queue up some stone harvesting right now, and once that's all harvested, we should have a lot more in place to actually continue expanding here. Obviously here you can still see some problems with food, cleanliness and luxury, but we are kind of getting somewhere with that now. So the next step is going to be to increase the number of houses we have in our city. So we first want to build a nice little market here, because that's going to be the centerpiece of our new kind of city expansion. So we're going to put a market at the top of the hill here, and then we'll be able to fit in some new shelters in and around that marketplace. So we're going to go to our housing, and we're going to take some new shelters here. And we want to try and get them as close to the interior area here around our market. So we're just going to put a few in for now. And the reason I'm doing this, even though I'm not at my population cap, is some of the areas and issues that we're having is we've got a lot of adolescents in the town, but they don't actually have anywhere to move into. So we can't actually give them a house so that they can go out there and reproduce and continue to expand our population, which is why we're going to build a nice row of houses in and around this area here. And then we're going to need to put a well in. Now, the problem at the moment is, because we don't have enough laborers to facilitate all of the stuff that's going on in the village, we are running out of, we kind of are throttling our production lines, and that is very unfortunate. That's leaving us at a bit of a disadvantage and preventing our growth from kind of happening at a quicker rate. We aren't getting enough resources in, which means we're not building quick enough, and we don't have enough houses now for our villagers. So you can see here our desirability is really high, which will impact our birth rate and our immigration rate. Problem is we don't have a great deal of food. That fluctuates, but that's okay. Cleanliness and luxury are some of our main issues. But if we can spread out our populace, it might actually give us a nice little boost. We'll get more people coming into the village and be able to develop these areas a lot quicker. Because the issue is right now, we don't have enough people to fill in the roles that would make the village a success and help things move a little bit quicker. And that's throttling our production. So that is why we're in a little bit of a stagnation point. And unfortunately at the moment, our birth rate and our immigration rate isn't outproducing our death rate. You can see here we currently have 29 elderly civilians and 62 senior. Now, if they're living with adults in houses, that's going to throttle our birth rate. So whilst it says here our housing count is at 363, we actually lack enough houses to have people reproducing. You can see here we've just built that house and immediately 4 people have moved into it. So we do need to build more houses to make sure that we are constantly reproducing and inviting new people into the city. You can see here as well, we do have 7 months of food in our storage and 4 are going to be lost to spoilage over the next 12 months. And that's not because we don't have enough food, it's because it's not being stored adequately. And there we go, 15 new people coming in. So that gives us probably enough labourers to just about make the city work. And if I'd have done that earlier, I would have had a much better opportunity to continue this expansion and get things done very efficiently. So now that I know what I've got to do, we'll get these new houses built once we've got enough wood to actually do that. And then hopefully our labour situation will be sorted and we'll be able to outproduce the number of labourers that we have compared to what we've got going on in the city. And that is basically how we're going to solve this slight population crisis that we've kind of found ourselves in. Luckily though, a lot of the other issues are now being solved. The food is looking really good since we built this new orchard down here. This is now just about fully grown. The maturity level's getting there. Soil fertility is really good and the production capacity is starting to increase very slowly. But we've got peach, we've got pear, and we've got a couple of apples over here as well. So we're going to transport some cows into our brand new barn, and they will then be able to reproduce and continue to improve the number of cows that we have in here. I'm going to set the max herd size at 6 because that seems to be working pretty well for us. They do have a nice grazing area over there, but that also limits what we can do in terms of producing for our farms. The next area I'm going to build a farm is over here. So that should go in nicely there. Yeah, it does give us a decent one there. So once that's been put in place, we'll be able to plant some new seeds there, and that will help us out. This market we could actually destroy, although there's some houses there that actually use it, so we may need to leave that in. Otherwise, I would have destroyed it and put in another crop field there, which is a bit of a shame. But we can now kind of just have a look at what's going on with these crops here, because these fields are not working for us. So here, the disease has been eradicated from that area, and they are now producing a nice bit of wheat and flax. Problem is, over here, we still have flax wilt going on there, and it's actually transferred from the other area. We did have a wheat killing crop here, so we're going to have to just get rid of the flax wilt. We'll plant some more wheat there, and we'll also plant some buckwheat there as well. We now have an attack to deal with at the village. So we've got 2 raiders coming through here, and they're going to try and breach these walls. We'll just make sure that we're not going to go down there. They've managed to get through here. So that could prove tough for us, but I'm going to let things play out. We'll see how they get on getting through here. That is a big raid. So that's going to cause some damage to us. We'll just need to make sure that they don't manage to get to where we want them to go. They do have a bit of a free run here, so it's kind of going to help us out here if we can just get as many villagers as we can to come and attack these guys, because we want to try and stop them getting to our... There we go. This is a little bit dangerous for us. Hopefully we'll have some villagers to assist us in this endeavour, and they can actually fight off these raiders. And any stragglers that try to escape, we will then hopefully be able to fend them off with our archer towers. Our villagers seem to be lying on the floor but still chasing after the raiders, which is weird. We killed 10 raiders. They have run away. I think we may have lost quite a lot there. So I'm going to garrison the village. We're going to return our combat, our guards to the village, and we'll have everyone else just hopefully. We can't keep doing that, unfortunately. That's going to really, really mess us up. So the wall down here is causing a lot of issue. They're getting through far too quickly, and we don't have enough defense down here to help us out. So they got away with a lot. They got away with a lot of gold ingots, smoked meat, pottery, crude weapons, and bows. So we really lost a substantial amount there. And what we might have to do is just beef up our defenses by putting another watchtower in. We'll put that right there. Hopefully it's going to allow us to build another one there. That's good. And then I think we should probably put some in and around the center of our town. Right, so we're going to have to spend a little bit of time recovering from this and hope that our city bounces back. You can see right here we now have a bunch of empty houses. So we are going to need to make sure that we get the happiness level back up, and hopefully we get some more people migrating into our settlement, because this doesn't bode well for the future. So I'm going to jump ahead a little bit and see how we cope coming out of this problematic time for our settlement, and hopefully we'll be able to bounce back. So we are fresh off another raid where a number of buildings were destroyed, a lot of them costing quite a bit of gold to repair. Thankfully though, we've been a little bit smarter with our trading, and we are able to transfer quite a bit of gold to our town storage just to facilitate all of that repair work. There was actually 66 raiders arrived at the village. But thankfully, if we just have a quick look, our birth rate is at 79% and our immigration rate is at 85%. So things are looking really good. If we can get another trader in and just bag some more luxury items, we should be in a much better position. We have now built our blacksmith, and they are going to start producing weapons and tools for us to save us buying things in. And our furniture workshop is also up and running. We are a little bit short though on people moving into the village, so we do need some more workers. You can see right here we have 41 laborers present, but if I auto refill all of the professions in here, we do drop down to 18, and it's recommended that we have 33 laborers to get the town functioning correctly. So I'm going to once again take a bunch out of my farmers, and that should bring us to around about the nice mark, but that means we only need another 14 villagers to get everything back on parity. So I think we can actually do that, and then once that's done, we will call it a day for this episode. It has been a little bit of a strange one kind of coming back, and I wasn't quite sure how to actually produce content for this game, because, you know, it's very much one of those reactive games where we have a lot to do when things kind of crop up, and other than that it's just kind of idle. But you can see over here we have expanded this little settlement here, and once we get enough money or wooden planks here, we can actually upgrade our market to improve our monthly income, and that should also happen to the market that's just down here as well. We do have another traveling merchant in here, and let's see what they're selling us. We can buy off them. We can buy tools and we can buy weapons. We don't actually need to do that right now, but what I will do is maybe buy some armor. They are buying pottery off us, but not for a great rate. They will buy some clothing off us, but we're a little bit short on that, so I don't really want to invest in that very much, because we kind of need to keep what we've got. They are selling iron ingots at a very a low price, so we could buy those, but I think I will just leave it for now. So let's jump on ahead to the last part of this episode, where hopefully we'll have finished building all of this stuff here, and we will have increased our population to a point where things are looking really good. You can see our cleanliness and all sorts is looking really good. It's just that lack of luxury that we need to solve next. So as you can see, we've managed to get our population on an even keel so that all of our professions are filled. We're starting to flow a lot better now, but you can actually see at the top here we've got a bit of a deficit of 38 gold that we're going to need to sort out, and the only way we can do that really is by producing more wood planks, so we can upgrade our markets to take a higher tax yield from our citizens. It does give us some more money options as well. Down here as well, we can actually put in a few more If we upgrade here, we should be okay. But right now, we're doing well for food. We still have 4 months of food in storage. We have reached a point where we're kind of like on an even keel with things. It is looking good. We've got a couple of things that we are starting to build here. We've got some large houses being built, which is really good because that helps us get to our upgrade. We've got 9 of 25 that we need to achieve to get to tier 4, but then we're going to need 5,000 gold, 150 iron, and 200 wood planks. We'll also need to build our trading center and have a population of 400 residents. Now, I'm not sure where the trading centre is. Let's have a quick look. Amenities and services, I guess. That's the apothecary shop, theatre, pub. We have a trading post, but not a trading centre. Maybe it's because do we need to upgrade this? Yes, it looks like we do. We need 100 gold ingots, 100 wood planks, and 30 logs. So maybe we need to upgrade our trading center first. So I think before we go, let's get that done. Actually, let's upgrade our trading post to a trading center. So we'll jump ahead one more time and then we'll get our upgraded trading post in and just close out this episode, which I'm actually really excited for. It's been a long slog today, but we've got there. We've got there. That's exciting.